do is go as Poppy. That's your homie ATM.
Beef, nigga. That's the
Real beef on set, nigga. That's what we talking about. Again, what it do is go as Poppy. That's your homie ATM.
That's your boy.
And we are the Lingo, baby. Joined by two very, very, very special guests today.
Yes.
We have our returning guest. That's the fucking problem. You know what the fuck going on.
You do.
We got our new homie George, aka New Yerrr City,
Let's get it.
in the building.
Well, what is? I feel like are you the CEO of your New York City
Right
founder?
now, I'm everything. The founder, CEO, I do all of the graphics, the recording. But I'm definitely trying to build a team soon. Though. That's key.
Or if y'all not hip on your New York City, it's just this amazing platform for independent artists to just pull up, perform and have those create that brand for themselves. Like talking to Money earlier, because first meeting you, I'm at Washington Square Park, and just watching you in the moment, setting up for the show, it's bustling,
Word.
so. Talk to us about how it all started, and the process of creating those shows.
So I got the idea first. I was in school. I was playing bowling college, and of course being from New York, Central State University in Ohio.
Oh shit, Ohio.
It's an HBCU?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's mad HBCUs.
There's mad HBCUs I don't know, word, okay.
So of course being from New York, they're like, yo, dude, I got trees, I got grass. Like, yo,
Greenery.
It's like, yo, say word to my mother, shit like that. So I'm like, they just asking me mad questions, it was they was going based off Sex and the City, shit like that, shows like that to get the information about New York. So at that point, I'm like, yo, I need to create something about New York culture, to really, you feel me, show people how we really are, the lifestyle, stuff like that. So then, as soon as I got back home, I just started working on that.
Word.
And also, another driver for New York City is, I used to intern for Dougie Fresh. I worked for a dude, he was a writer for Universal Music Group. He also had an indie label. So, just being behind the scenes and learning what I learned there, and just seeing how big brands and corporations take advantage of the culture, using lifey dances, not paying them. I'm pretty sure y'all seen this, a 212 thing by AT&T all over New York City and all that.
Yeah.
To me, that was corny, so I'm like, nah, I gotta really do something to really show New York culture for real.
Interesting, and bring it to the source of it.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So the whole mission for New York City is really to show New York culture and to get the culture paid. So that's the big
That's
goal.
what's up. Right. I like that. So then how did the aspect of Bodega Raps come into play?
So honestly, I had the idea for a minute. What made me really started, I seen these TikTok profiles, and they was giving customers free snacks if they could solve math problems. They would give them 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So
Yeah.
I seen articles written on that, and people were saying, yo, I want to come to New York just to go to a bodega. And mind you, I had the idea before that, so I'm like, yo, I got to do this now or never. So I just picked up my phone, I hit the first artist I knew, and I'm like, yo, would you be down to do it? He's like, yeah, and I just pulled up. And that's how it started.
Shit, now you're on season 2 of it. I remember Des's episode.
Yeah. I think that's what got me hip to you. Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wait, how was honestly, wait, is it one bodega? Did you pick your bodega?
Yeah, do you go to people's hoods
and
basically
I pull up to the artist hood and I do it in front of the store.
In front of the store in the hood.
Okay.
Yeah, there's about 6 within a 5-block radius of my house. So I just went to the one I normally go to.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the Ock has a crush on me.
She got some
I'll only
feel
have
like that.
and it's the Ock's son. But,
The little eye. The little eye.
And it's the prettiest one unless I was trying to walk all the way to Sutter and Rutland.
Yes.
So I was like, let's be cute.
How was the performance for you? What was from that experience?
It was calm. It was interesting because, so this is the funny part, right? I've lived in my hood for my entire life, but niggas would not, I would be outside now and niggas are like, you live here? And I'm like, yeah, longer than you, dickhead.
Artsy.
Yeah, but because, people don't, so they'll see me on so it's not like a situation where your neighbors will see you and be like, oh my gosh, she's rapping. Hey. So only my closest neighbors know me and know what I do or whatever. So I'm at the corner store, a block from my crib, and niggas is passing by, like, who is this bitch? What's happening here? I have a mic and I'm just rapping, and then some old guy's standing in front because he want to be seen on camera.
Or he wasn't.
He's like, yeah, I think this is my time to shine. And then some little boy randomly starts dancing behind me, and I'm like, okay, go crazy, go stupid. And it was a good time though. It was a different experience, but I would definitely do it again. I feel like impromptu performances have kind of become my thing. That was by choice, but other times people just be like, go perform, go, do it. So it's cool to be in an environment where it gives that impromptu vibe and like people don't know what's coming. I like the element of surprise and all of that good stuff. It was also, you know, I just like any opportunity to perform when I can because it keeps the gears turning.
Right, yeah.
WD-40.
That's actually really like exercising a muscle, you know,
bro.
performing like that. You be going all over for these. I was just watching your most recent one. I was in, nah, that wasn't the one I was in Mount Vernon, but I did see the one. There was a shorty that was from Mount Vernon, and then,
Kelsey?
Yeah, she was pretty dope. The recent one I just saw for season 2, I think it was episode 8, homeboy was like, I'm doing this with all the ox that's locked right now. I was like, he's going hard. He was spitting like,
That's mad funny.
yo, I was like, yo, like, and
That's funny.
so is there any moments where like you recording like at these stores and you've seen some like crazy shit or like?
Nah, to be honest, it's been nothing but love. It's been nothing but good experiences. Out of all the artists I've dealt with, I probably had like 1 or 2 small problems, but like one dude fell asleep, like, yo, my fault, bro, I was smoking, I got high, but even when we pulled up again and shot it, it was dope, like it's all love. Yeah, it been all love for real. The hardest part is just hopping on the train. Like sometimes, like yesterday, I shot 2 episodes in one day, and then next week I'm shooting like 3 episodes a day. So
we know how that feels.
Yeah,
it's a head crack, bro.
So
it's a head crack.
Over.
You finish, you like are an adrenaline binge all day, and once you're done, you're like, yo, how the fuck I just did all that, bro? Nah, I feel you. That's what's up.
Get sponsored by Uber or something.
No, that it's funny. I feel like your platform in a way also made me realize like. Another thing that made me realize like how small the city is at the same time because you had a shorty on there, Ashani, and my best friend 10 years hit me up and or like she posted it on her story and I was like, how my best friend know this page? And I hit her up and she was like, oh, that's my cousin. I was like, what? I was like, this is a tiny ass world because it was in Woodside, like a couple blocks from my crib. Like the neighborhood right next to mine. So I was just like, wow, this is a tiny ass city. And then when I pulled up to the cypher, you did the recap video, my best friend hit me up and was like, yo, my cousin was just talking about some shorty who wore pink on the cypher. And she was like, oh, she really fucks with your shit. I was like, oh, wow, this city is fucking small, for real. So I was like, I think that's dope. I think that, you know, I think any platform that is built to like highlight people who are up and coming, like, always just got some love behind it, you know, and how it's created. But with that, like talking about the ciphers, and you know, we spoke at the first cipher, and you were telling me like, yeah, I'm gonna have like a couple more like events in play because of a grant I just received. Yeah. So I just wanna, you know, talk more about like the process of how you got that grant, what the grant really entails, and like how it's gonna help the platform.
So let me just say real quick, like what Yerrr City is. So it's like a music production, media, and entertainment company. And like I said, we're trying to show real New York culture through original music that we produce and curate or whatever.
Right.
Original content like Bodega Raps and events like the Cypher. So it's grants like that, being that we just came through the pandemic, like their whole focus is like trying to get the city back on point. And then they know they need us and culture and artists to do that. So the name of the grant is called City Artist Corps, and it was like $23 million, and they gave 5,000 to like I think 3,000 different artists. So my man, he sent this to me like on the last day, so I'm up like mad late. I wasn't even gonna do it. But I ended up doing it. I filled it out for it, and I got it. And it was lit because like they gave you, it was like no holder. They gave you the money like probably in 2 weeks. You just had to send 2 pictures in to prove that you had an event. They gave you logos to send out to like to promote it in the event. And we also got a chance to shop at a warehouse. It's like a warehouse it's in Brooklyn. Yeah, it's in Brooklyn.
The warehouse?
No, Queens. It's like a warehouse full of supplies just for free. You got like fabric, TVs in there.
What?
It's crazy. It's crazy. So you basically got like an hour with a big ass shopping cart to just get whatever you want.
Yo, that's like one of those
like,
game shows.
So it's like it's everything in that, like fabric, paint, brushes, like whatever you need as an artist. So yeah, that was lit. So and there's a lot of other grants out there like that. So I would definitely encourage anybody in the creative space to like really like do like research. And I know it's also it's a business plan competition going on right now for the library in Manhattan. So yeah, I would definitely look into that. Anybody that needs some bread for their business. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's so fucking important to talk about because I feel like a lot of people do shit in the city and then you realize like, wait, it takes a lot of fucking financing to even get your shit off. You know what I'm saying? I think I was talking to Malik the other day about this. Like we were just having this dialogue. Like, yo, a lot of these are in the red. for just trying to pursue what they want to do creatively.
Right.
So to have, and not anyone knows about like these grants that really be offering, you know, this help to artists. Shit, I should be, you know,
And it's a lot of, it's like billions out there that just go unused like every year. It's crazy. There's money out there. You just gotta know like where to go.
Oh, yeah. That's what's up.
Yo, like, so I feel like I'm ping ponging back and forth, yo. So there's like, in terms of like, for like artists in the city, like how important is like doing those like kind of shows like for you in terms of like, you know, reach or like, you know, just I know you say you do it like for practice and like performing and shit like that.
Mm-hmm. For one, it's definitely good for content, like especially visual content. It's really helpful because honestly, people tend to respond better to visual content now.
Yeah.
So it's like we are past the day, well, not completely past, but kind of past the days of just SoundCloud and people being just hyped to hear that you dropped the audio.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you could catch
It's
eyes.
amazing,
Yeah, like it works for you if you're already up there. Like if niggas is already checking for you.
Type shit, yeah.
And like if Nicki dropped something on SoundCloud tomorrow, she would crash SoundCloud, right?
Right.
But somebody who's just coming up might not have the same effect unless that's their brand, really. So things like that offer you an opportunity to put content out there, rework it, then have extra, like use the content multiple times or like use it. It's all of it is a portfolio at the end of the day. So niggas see what you do on your page, and based off of that, they come to you. Like I've gotten my paid features from people seeing my page. I've gotten, because even when I don't look like I'm working y'all. And
Very
so,
true.
and if I'm not working musically, I'm working up here to fix myself musically. So people reach out to you to do events. Like half the time if I'm at an event, it's because somebody asked me to pull up, but they only know me because I have stuff on my page.
Yeah.
If I didn't have like the performance I did with you, people wouldn't know that I was capable of doing that. So it puts you in a different light for the people who are checking for you and for people who don't know you yet.
Yo, Instagram's like a whole like digital resume now.
And people definitely be watching. Trust me, I signed any day, so I can't say nothing, but like I had a major label reach out over Bodega Raps.
NDA talk.
NDA talk.
I had
Fuck that money shit.
managers reach out, teams. I had day before yesterday, a lady who works for a major publication in France. This goes back to what I was talking about earlier, as far as like people trying to tap into the culture and not pay due. She was trying to like give me an interview about light feet and the music. And she's like, we'll give you a thank you credit at the end. I'm like, nah, I need some bread, bro. I've been around billionaires. Oh, like I had mentors, so I know how it go. I'm like, the company that she works for is owned by Vivendi. If you're not familiar with Vivendi, they own everything. As far as music wise here. Everything that like is put out here, it goes right back to them.
Okay.
You feel me? So like I know they got a budget to do what they're doing, you feel me? So you're not about to just give me a
Thank you, yeah.
And I'm introducing you and telling you about everything. I've been through that. I'm not doing that again. So like people definitely be watching, like everything in today's world, like it's just one post away from blowing up, one song away from your life changing. Just definitely keep putting out that content. And I would say like the most important thing is like just to start. Like I film on my iPhone. Like when people see that, they're like, yo, you really film on your iPhone? I'm like, yeah. I didn't know what I was doing, I just started. And now we here. That's how I met y'all.
No, for real.
For that.
Literally.
If I'd never did that, wouldn't be here, wouldn't know y'all. So
it's funny that you bring up, like, you know, you talk to like all these teams, because I was wondering myself, like, damn, how am I supposed to know all these artists?
Right.
Like, there's just like this huge, like, do you think most like managers and like agents reach out to you, or is it like a give and take?
So
like
I knew artists just from like interning from for Dougie Fresh and interning at the most recent studio in that was in Manhattan. So I just knew artists because like my job there was, in addition to being an intern, I was like a producer. I was bringing talent. I also met my agent. I used to act, so like I had an agent and everything. And like just being an actor and just being out at different events, I would just keep meeting like artists to the point where I was able to get Son, who owned the label. I got his artist performances at New York Fashion Week twice and at LA Fashion Week. So just being out and about, staying connected, networking.
An actor? Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't want to cut him off either.
I was in they cut my scene, but I still got credit for it. I was in the Get Down.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
I was in I still got some stuff too, like a Filipino joint. That was like the most craziest thing I was in. At the time, we shot it in Union Square. And I'm so dumb, you know, New York, we pay attention, but we really don't. Like, we just like nonchalant, like whatever. So the dude I had my scene with, he's Filipino. And I see mad people coming up to him. I'm thinking it's his family. And they just saying what up, because he in the States. They just happy to see him. So, My agent texted me like, yo, make sure you get a picture with him. I'm like, why? He's like, yo, he's like the Justin Bieber of the Philippines. So long story short, me being 6'8", they was like, yo, how tall are you? So it just like, yo, I was just blessed like that. They asked me for a picture of him, the director, and like one other person. And when they posted it on their page, bro, they fans went crazy. Like them people knew my name. They was in my DM. I'm like, it was crazy. Like I was like on the fan sites, and at the time I had a physical therapist. She was Filipino. So when I asked her, you know about a show called The Story of Us? She just stopped. And when I showed her the picture, the whole office went crazy. They wanted to take a picture of me. So like, it just opened my mind to not be like to not hold myself to like just the American market, like as far as music. So I'm always thinking about or trying to find like up and coming markets as far as like who's like interested in doing or who's interested in seeing what I have to offer as far as music or content or whatever.
Right. So
yeah, that was like acting. I played a cop for like a short film. Yeah,
sorry.
you know I'm tall.
Also, you're Snoop Dogg basically.
Huh?
You're Snoop Dogg basically.
What you mean?
You never saw that meme where it was like Snoop Dogg, you doing everything. That nigga was like in a Bollywood film. He was like,
I love Bollywood too, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah, he was that
so
way, bro.
he's Snoop Dogg. I'm jacking it.
But nah, yeah, I definitely get back into acting too. So like New York City, we would definitely have like original productions and movies and stuff like that too in the future. Like the long term, I definitely want to have a space with the merch on the first floor. Like whatever you want to make as far as music, clothing, photography, video, that'd be on the second floor, and then like have an event space on the third floor. And then like every time I have like conversation with artists, they be like they can hear like. Cause like I did like a lot of research like about marketing, branding and stuff like that. So I'll be like just giving them tips and like, yo, you want to manage me? I'm like, yo, a few people be asking me that, but I'm like, I do want to, but it's a lot of work. But at some point, I do want to have New York City being like a management / talent agency for like the culture in the hood and like just connecting them with brands and you feel me like.
I was just about to ask you like, do you want to manage? It seems like.
See, I wouldn't want to personally manage nobody, but like I can give you like the strategy, so like we can like consult, do something like that. I would do something like that. But managing people out there, I know it's like a lot of work.
I was actually having a really dope conversation last night with this dope dude, artist, Rodney, that we introduced me to. Shout out Rodney. And he's basically talking to me about like, yo, like, do you like how's managing for you? Like, do you want to like expand and stuff like that? And I honestly feel like managing is like really like one of those like positions like you don't necessarily have something structured to do. I feel like it's so like based on the artist that you're working with. Yeah. And is it more or less like you're looking for a specific artist to manage, or like do you have to be like close to you personally to like really?
Honestly, bro, like one of the things that make me the most happy, it's about to sound mad corny, but like I like just like being the plug. So like I love to meet somebody. Let's say if I met one of y'all out and y'all tell me like what y'all want to do, and like the only thing holding y'all back is meeting like one person or not knowing about the studio. Like I love like just like putting people in a position of like being a plug. So like that's the main thing I want to do is like just like bridge the gap between people. And like I said, like I think like the most efficient thing for me would be to like to have like not even classes, but like have their managers come to me and I can like give them the whole strategy, like a whole, you know, step-by-step thing to do, and then we can do it like that. But I really don't think I want to manage. I'm more so concerned about like getting the culture work and getting them paid for it. Like Lifey dancers, I would love to like represent them and like just get them work and stuff like that, and like build their brands. Like I love building brands and marketing and stuff like that. So like that's my thing. But I might manage in the future. I don't know, but I know it's like it's real tedious.
Right.
Like I heard like when you manage like you have no life. Like that's like your life, like the artist, and I got too much to do. You feel me?
From an artist perspective, what do you guys think you guys look for in the management? I'm talking to you too, Money. You
look at me.
Who
said this?
Wait, can you repeat your question?
From an artist perspective, you know, I'd love to know like what you guys look for in a manager, and you know.
You wanna go first?
Sure. So as somebody who doesn't have a manager right now and who will not probably have one until about mid next year, plotting. What I would look for in a manager, because I do have like somebody who's wanted to be my manager for a couple of years, and me and her are like in talks here and there, is somebody who can understand one, what I want to do, like versatility wise, like things like that. Somebody who doesn't subscribe to boxing and artisan, so that who's willing to see me in a lot of different lights, so they can push me out in that way, if that makes sense. Like, you work well here, or she would work well with this person and this person, not just because she does drill she should hang out with so and so. She also does R&B, so she could also deal with so and so. Like, understanding versatility is the biggest one, but that also depends on the artist, because not every artist wants to be versatile. So that's just for me. In addition to that, somebody who meshes with my personality on some level, because I feel like once your personalities are kind of like I and I, it's one of those situations where you could be saying something and the person knows exactly what you're trying to get at without you having to circumvent and say shit 100 different ways
right,
for them
over
to grasp
explain
it.
shit. Or...
Right, because generally if you and another person are on the same page, things tend to flow way more easily. And it becomes more like okay, this is a familial thing, like family kind of thing, versus a strictly business thing, which could work better for some people, but I feel like the more communication there is, the better things could go. So that's 2. I'm trying to think.
Got one more. That's
important.
Somebody who loves what they do. Because if you don't, then it's like,
well, what are we here for?
Right, because I love what I do, right? So I feel like if you don't love what you're doing, especially if what you're doing, like it's like a symbiotic relationship. Like, we're reliant upon each other to do certain things. Like, you are managing me as an artist, so I'm important to what you're doing, and you're the one managing me, so what you do is important to what I have to do.
Of course.
So if one of us values what we do more than the other, it kind of throws off the balance of the seesaw, if you will.
No, yeah. I agree with all those points. For me, there's also like, I feel like ever since I started making music, I was always very like headstrong on the fact that like I don't want to work with nobody for the sake of them doing it for money. Like producers, engineers, anything. Like I don't like going to people to like mix my shit or produce my shit that like are doing it for the paycheck. So I exist in that same page with like a manager. Like I like one of my crucial like standards for a manager is like, yo, you gotta believe in what I do. Like you have to fuck with what I do. Because if you're just managing me for the sake of managing me and to build your like experience, like it's not gonna work, like. And I'm the same way with people who mix my shit. Like if you're doing it just to do it because I need somebody to mix it, like no, I don't want that. I want you to tell me like, bro, this shit is whack. Like re-record it or do this or do that. But like, so I'm the same way with managers. Like I feel like there needs to be that like strong core belief of like you believe in what I do. And like with the manager I have now, like me and them, we have that relationship that really just stemmed from like them, shout out JD, like them wanting to full on help me. Like they knew I was drowning and like doing everything myself, like from finding engineers, from finding beats, from recording in my room, from editing all my videos, shooting my visuals. Like I was doing everything so on my own that like this person literally just saw like I was drowning in all my shit, that they were like, yo, what do you need help? And I was like, yes, I can't do this shit on my own. Like I cannot do it, bro. Like I already have too much mental space occupied with how my music is going to sound in and of itself, and like how my visuals are, because I'm a very creative person in all realms. So I already have the ideas for my songs and how I want them to sound. I already have the ideas for how I want my visuals to look. It's more so like, great, help me make that come to life. I was always a person like, me, like I'm a hip hop head, so I analyze trends, like I do all that, and I realize like a lot of people who come up like in the mainstream have a team around them that genuinely believes in them and helps them build it. Then when I went to college, I saw mad people like making music or doing this or doing that, and it was very hard to try to think of building a team because everybody was very headstrong on getting their shit done. I want to do my shit, and it was like, so if everybody want to do their shit, who gonna help me with my shit? So it was like one of those. But for like, in terms of just a manager, like everything Des said, the like factor of like believing in me and believing in what I do, the factor of like wanting to see me do better, like, just in general. And another crucial thing for me is like not knowing more than what I know, but being willing to do that research, like I'm a social person, so I already network a lot, but I would like my manager to then find people I don't know, or like locations I don't know, or like you know, events or spaces that I don't know, because I already know a lot. So it's like not necessarily knowing more than me, but just like taking that extra step to be like, you know, you should go perform here, or you should hit up this person and talk to them, or like my manager hitting them up and being like this or doing that. And it's like really helping with that like outreach as well, of like getting my name into spaces I'm not already in. And that's like crucial things for me as a manager, is like, bro, helping me set up my shit, because I'm always like on a roll in my head. That's one. And then two, like, you know, just helping like overall that help of like setting me up, of like, you know, setting me up as an artist, and like, you know, like the belief standpoint, like I already have that with my manager. Like my manager believes in me wholeheartedly. Like they love my music. You know, it's just like that thing of like really reaching out and like,
building that network.
You know, building that network, helping me build that network. Because I already do a lot on the ground. You know, I go to events, I go to spaces, I meet people, I talk to people. So I do a lot of work on the ground. And me and my manager live in different states. So it's even harder that way. Because it's like we don't have like the physical, I gotta, like, we could sit down, we could link up, I could come over, we could talk about this. You know, like it's very like, like we're very good friends before it was ever like a business thing. But now that it's also a business thing, it's like, it brings in a whole new layer of like, all right, now we gotta set up our calls, figure this out, what are we doing this week, what are we doing that week, like, and even like coming into creating my next album with FMP, like with y'all, it's even that too, like getting my manager, like, cool, I had to have my budget meeting with my manager, and now I'm gonna have to have my manager call you guys, so it's like, you know, it's also that, so it's like, it's just it's a lot of like technicalities and like logistics and professional shit that I'm just like, yeah, I need somebody to handle this, because I can do it on my own, I'm tired of doing it on my own. You know, it's very, like, I'm very, like, exhausted of doing it on my own.
Yeah, I feel like the early music industry shit is, like, managers play, like, the every guy team.
Yeah, I was going to say, too, what she was saying is important, because my agent, he definitely didn't get it. So at the time, I'm fresh from school, I'm in shape, I'm, like, 6'8", 250. And this dude is sending me to, like, European brands. I'm like, bro, I can't fit nothing in here.
To Zara.
Why would they pick me?
High Water City.
To, like, be in their campaigns. And so that was one problem. And then he was, which I don't have no problem with, he was gay. And he would be sitting, like, he would just put me in the position. He was basically trying to impose that lifestyle on me. Every time he see me, he's trying to hug me, do extra stuff. He's sending me to events where it's just a whole bunch of, basically what we be hearing on TV and YouTube, all of that is true. Like, if you do certain stuff, you will get further. Yeah. Like, I seen that for myself.
Interesting.
So I'm like, bro, I got love for everybody. Like, if you know me, you know that. But I'm like, don't impose that on me. And like, you really don't see the division. And he was saying, like, you so big, you should be like a comedian. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to be no comedian.
So you think you and your agent have different views on like what he thinks that will put you in a place to grow, and like, do you think it was conflicting with who you are as a person? Yeah. So facts. And like, before I even signed with him, like, so how I met him, he had two people that he was managing in the studio. And I asked him before, like, I even, signed with him. They was like, yo, he doesn't know what he's doing. Take everything that he says with a grain of salt, because he really don't. Again, like I said, I was in shape, like, at that time. He's like, yo, you too big, why you eating? You need to start eating, only eat crackers. I'm like, bro, there's something wrong with you. But like, he only got the position because his husband owned the agency, so that's really why he got it. Like, it was just like not a hobby for him, but like something that I guess he always wanted to do.
Sorry, you gotta eat crackers and pizza behind now.
I'm eating, he gonna look at me, he's like, what do you, bro, if you don't get away from me, bro, I'm gonna eat all day, every day. I love to eat. That's
not take food from no big person, bro.
But I don't think he had the skill set to be an agent, because like, obviously, if you sending me to, I can't fit no clothes in there, why would they pick me? So that's one. And then two, I was prepared for that though. But being a manager all the time, you definitely have to see the big picture. You gotta, you said they shouldn't know more than you, but they should either know more than you or have something, like another skill that makes up for not knowing more than what the artists know. And I feel like
that's the value added.
He really didn't know what he was doing. And like, the positions he was putting me in was crazy. Like,
the agency was like for musical acts, or this is for acting?
No, it was acting. It's a talent agency.
For acting. Okay.
Around. Man, bro, if I didn't have like the discipline I have, bro, it would have been crazy.
No, I feel like music managers and music agents like do a better job than acting agents. As somebody who also did acting at some point in my life, acting agents not it, bro. Not all of them. They don't. A lot of, because it's also a very like, I be thinking like music is like oversaturated. Like there's a lot of artists. There's a lot of fucking people who want to be actors. Especially because I did that shit as a kid too. So like the realm of child actors is crazy, bro. And it's like you don't even know what your vision is. Like I'm like 8, 9, you know, doing acting classes, getting an agent. What the fuck my vision is, and then like you have these people who are like managing or being agents to younger kids, and it's like they're gonna put you in mad different positions. And like I'm coming from an immigrant family where my mom also don't know better. Like, you know, my mom don't know how this shit works either. So it's like I'm going to mad like castings for shit that's like requiring like white girls, blonde hair, and I'm looking at the guy like I can read. I don't think this is. He was like, no, go ahead, just try it. And I was like, bro,
what is
you blowing my mom's bread on nothing?
What's the fucking like? I feel like it's like the rapper to actor pipeline.
The pipeline?
Yeah, like I feel like I'm just thinking about like 50, like Life of Kanan and all that.
I feel like a lot of like rappers, like I feel like a lot of like musicians, like once they get like sanctioned, they're just in enough rooms that people dead ass just like cast them for shit.
Shit, the Nas and Belly. He was terrible in that movie.
Nas and DMX were horrible, and Belly's one of my top 5 movies. Like I love like the cinematography of Belly. Shout out Hype Williams. Like the cinematography of it is absolutely beautiful. Nas was good in it in the sense of like Nas and DMX were really good at their narration. But you gotta remember they're lyricists. So if they wrote that script in any sense, or even if they didn't, like vocality wise, it works. The acting fucking sucked, you know, like they cannot act for shit. But like 50 made perfect sense. 50 did Get Rich or Die Trying, like I want to say 10 years ago. Not even that was the movie, you know, and he directed the whole shit. So 50 started as a director and producer of movies and like film before he started like acting and shit, or like, so he has a hand in a lot of production shit. But I feel like once you're like sanctioned in the music world and you're in enough rooms, like you kind of just get plucked. Like, that's that's high key, like, you know, that's high key how it works. Like Joey did a great job of raising Kanan, and he even, you know, and he even put it on his page, and he was like, yo, this is like my favorite role I've ever played in my life. I think he's only played in like 1 or 2 other things. I feel like I've seen Joey in something before.
He was in Mr. Robot.
You know, so like, but I feel like that's how the pipeline starts. Like a lot of people, like I rarely see failed musicians, like, or people who had 1 hits then like blow up in acting. I usually see people who are like sanctioned then end up in like movies and shows and shit.
You know, tipping your hand to some acting does.
I
could see it.
I could. Like, I mean, I went to performing arts school, so like it's.
Shout out LaGuardia.
Yeah.
But also not.
Yeah.
But also not.
But also not.
But also not.
But also not. They were crazy.
Personally, I'm more interested in the rapper to model pipeline. So I don't know. I feel like partially my mom's been trying to get me to model since I was little. That's 1, and then 2, I realized everywhere that I go, similar to money, like I be not as much right now, but I've had a history of being outside and talking to people. Like that's how people happen to know me. But anytime I go into those spaces, most people are always creatives. And so when you get into those spaces, everybody's like, oh, like, what do you do, right? So they turn to me and they're like, oh, you're a dancer, right? And then if it's not dancer, it's, oh, you're a model.
Yeah.
Or like,
I thought you were
model.
I thought you were a dancer when I first met you.
Yeah.
Probably.
Or like, people will hear them rapper and they're like, oh, but do you model at all? And I'm like, occasionally.
You mean multifaceted.
So,
yeah.
I'm saying, that's a fact. I need to label that as an album. But honestly, he's like, send me my bread.
Send me my credit. Send me my credit.
My fucking money. But for real though, like, these are all signs to me that maybe it's something that I should look more into. So I'm actually going to start looking more into it. So, but I would be open to acting for sure. I always thought it was really cool.
Yo, how did you like? I feel like you did so many pivots. Like
I think I
basketball.
So I'm from like the episode you seen in Mount Vernon. That was cool because I'm from Mount Vernon. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, okay, word.
I'm from Mount Vernon, so at the time I played ball there.
Mount Vernon coming up crazy. Capella Gray now. George, you shit me.
There's a lot of people from there though. Puff, Denzel.
Puff who?
Puff.
You shit me from Mount Vernon?
Dougie Fresh, Heavy D.
That's crazy.
All that.
I mean, Mount Vernon.
So
niggas just be saying Uptown.
Niggas
Niggas just be saying Uptown. They mean Mount Vernon. Way Uptown, nigga.
Oh, now you saying how I got started and everything. Like the pivots.
Right.
Yeah,
the pivots, how everything,
I played ball in Mount Vernon. And at the time we was number 2 in the country.
Oh wow.
So we got and we were sponsored by Nike. So we had the opportunity to travel a lot to Hawaii. I've been like to most of the states in here. So like just traveling a lot.
Do your research.
Playing ball in front of like thousands of people and stuff like that. It really opened me up to like different cultures, different people, and I really love different cultures and like different people. The first books I ever bought home from the library, bro, was like cookbooks
from like other places.
from India.
He's gonna be a chef.
China. Nah, I just wanted to. I like eating, bro. I gave it to my mother. She cooked it. I'm like, yeah, do that.
Do that.
That was crazy.
But now, so like, yeah, so basketball opened it up. And my mom, she ended up being a flight attendant.
Okay.
So in addition to basketball, I was traveling. I remember we went to Indianapolis just to cash her check, bro. Like, we said, you trying to go on the plane real quick? I'm like, yeah. So we just went there, flew there, and just flew right back. So like, just to having that experience, it just opened me up to a lot. My mom, she was a fashion designer. She went to FIT.
Okay.
My pops, he's into films. He always wrote scripts, and he did commercial arts in school. So like coming from that background, and of course my grandparents, they were always playing music and stuff like that. And then like my mother, she grew up with Heavy D. Like she was an artist as well when she was younger, so she was popping. She had like, my grandmother was mad, cool. So like she was the only person that would let like them throw hip hop parties. You know, like when it first came out, everybody's like, nah, you can't play that here. We not jacking that. So like she had the whole hood from her age to like the drug dealers and up. They all come into my grandmother's crib to these little girls on hip hop parties because there was nowhere else to go. So like, like just like hearing that growing up and seeing that like, you know, inspired my love for music. But yeah, so basketball, I ended up going to getting a scholarship to go to school. I went 1 year. My first school was in Mississippi. I came back. I took 3 years off. I didn't even mean to do that, but I took 3 years off. And like during that time though, I went to that's when I had my internship with Dougie Fresh, and that was like the first experience.
Sure, I'm taking some
to
time
really,
off too.
To really seeing like bro, like one, I really wanted to do that. Like I was just super excited to be there, and it just opened my eyes up to like just being more than a basketball player, which of course every day people asking me that, yo, you play ball? Like I got people like before they even speak, they be like, yo. I just cross the street. Like sometimes I'm not in the mood for it, but now like that just opened my eyes to like being like more than a basketball player. But so that started me in music, and then eventually, in high school I was designing too. Being my mother was designer, I picked up that stuff. So like I would sketch, I would bring home the sketches, and like once she made it something tangible, that got me hooked. So like from that point on, I've been designing as well. I had my brand. The first brand I had was called Safe Flight. It was in a store in Soho. It was called it's called Hotel 97. It's right around the corner from Supreme. It used to be in Lafayette. So it was a dope location. So like just having like opportunities like that. So yeah, designing, basketball, me playing ball, that led to me having an internship with Dougie Fresh, and that led to everything else, to acting. And that's just really how I had, like you said, just being in the right place, and you just meeting people, and like them seeing you ask something like, you ever thought about doing this or doing that, and then eventually you get asked the same question so many times, like, let me give it a try. You end up liking it, or you end up being good at it, and that's really just how it happens. So like just being in the right place at the right time, and just growing up and having a musical family and a creative family, for real. Yeah. And then like also like I'm just like a big dreamer, like in general. Like I have like books and books of ideas and sketches of so much I want to do. So I already seen like the vision already for myself. Like I want to do like so much. Like even with New York City, I want it to be like so much. Like so I think like as I start releasing new ideas, people like they get it more and more and more, and they see like really like what it's really about. But yeah.
What's your sign?
Aquarius.
That threw me off. I'm sorry, I did not expect that. I was not thinking that the whole time we were saying here. You said like I don't know, like the dreamer, like all the creative shit. I was jacking like a Virgo. I was low-key jacking Virgo, maybe a Libra, maybe a Pisces.
But a lot of Aquarius are all creative. Like I think Bill Gates.
You're not off-putting though. Every Aquarius I know, man or woman, is off-putting as shit. And because you're so social, like you don't like give off the off-putting vibe.
That's funny you saying that. I am working on being more social, but naturally I'm probably not. But like when I was signed, like one of the we had the same agent. She was a girl. She was like, "Yo, you mad intimidated?" I'm like, "What you mean?" So I listened to what she was saying, and then like I would just go outside and pay attention more. And like as I paid attention, I'm like, yo, people really scared of me. Like I was walking one day, this girl, she was sitting on the curb. She just seen my feet first. She didn't even see my face. She seen my feet, and you'd have thought like Godzilla was coming or something. She's like, and then she looked at him like, bro, I ain't even. Why you so scared, bro? So I do make it. Because I do notice like when I'm dressed and when I do talk more and smile more. Like that's how I've gotten all my contacts. I done met like so many people, like Sigourney Weaver, so many people where I can't even remember. But like, and that happens because I do talk or I'm dressed a certain way. But if I'm dressed like Black Hoodie or something, niggas is not gonna talk to me. They're gonna move out the way.
Let me ask you another question. How old are you?
33.
Didn't think that either. Not gonna lie. You like gave me 28, 27 max.
You said 24?
She bugging. I said 27, 28 max, but I didn't say it because like I gave you 27, 28 max just off strength of like experience. Like you're talking to me about mad shit. I'm like, all right, some of it like it sounds like you've been like doing it for like a minute. So I was like, okay, so I give you like 27. Like, wow, you look great. You look great. You look great for 33. Wow, look at you. Come on, shit.
You look great there.
Wait, one more question. You got siblings?
I'm the only child on my mother's side.
You're only child?
But my father.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm very intrigued now by like how this person
my
like.
father.
That's a good term.
But did you grow up with siblings?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So my father, whose nickname is Nuki. I don't know if you train. You know me something like you said that. Okay, so you know Nuki. Yeah. That's his name. So he got about 8 kids. So I got. That's funny.
Nah, that's jokes. That's bad.
I'm the only child of my mother.
Okay.
Like, growing up, I had I grew up with like probably 2 or 3 of my sisters.
Okay, yeah. You didn't give
cousins though.
You didn't give off only child vibes. That's why I had to ask. Y'all be only child be giving off a vibe. Lenny.
It's crazy. Like the stuff that you're telling me, like I'm glad. Like it's good to hear you say that because everybody else say they be saying something different.
Really?
But I think it's because like again, I am like with people that I genuinely fuck with, like being around like in a space like this is dope, creatives. Like if I'm in Mount Vernon or something, I'm not about to be talking like this. I'm going to be on some whole other vibe. You know, yeah, there's something wrong. And let me get out of his way. But like so, like just being in an environment like this, I think it really does like bring the best out of you.
Right.
Creatively, or like anything for real.
What is that Mount Vernon scene like? Sorry,
No.
So one. I ain't gonna say that, but
it was a quick catch. It was like actually.
The scene, like you said, the scene I definitely is. As far as like creatively or like
yeah. I'm listening.
I don't know shit about Mount. You been there?
One.
That's you. That could have fooled me. That's not.
We're not going into it.
Wait. Oh, he from Mount Vernon. Fuck that nigga. Mount Vernon. What's the scene like? Because we don't need to. I ain't
gonna. I got mad love for Mount Vernon.
Oh, we don't see this.
It was super fun growing up, but at some point I felt like I need to leave. So I haven't been. Like I go. Like today, my grandma's party, so like stuff like that, I'll go back. But I've been out of Mount Vernon for like a year and some change. But, you see.
I'm scared.
Now I think Mount Vernon is getting like it is dope to start hearing the name Mount Vernon a lot because I feel like a lot of people, especially from Brooklyn and Queens, like back in the days, like when me and my cousins would be out here, we'd be outside every day. They'd be like, "Yo, where's Mount Vernon at?" They thought it was upstate. I'm like, "No, it's the last stop on the 2 train, bro." So like being at Mount, and it's a lot of history. Like everybody used to be in Mount Vernon. Like every major artist back then, L, Cool J, like it was lit. Somehow, some way that I don't know what happened. It just went away. But it's starting to like. It really wasn't a scene like 5-10 years ago, but it's starting to get to that point now because you do have studios now. I know 8 Boogie's producer. I think his name's like James or Turn Me Up or something like that. He has a studio out there. So it's a lot of stuff that's starting to happen now, especially Capella. You know that situation that's bringing more light to it.
But with that though, like I want to ask, like, cause even with Capella, like I didn't know Capella was from Mount Vernon until I found out from somebody because he just be saying I'm from Uptown. Yeah, so it's like you know, like. So
what I heard he just lived like between the Bronx and Mount Vernon and probably one other place. Mm-hmm. But he grew up.
Yonkers?
I don't know.
Shit, I feel that's the only place
I know. The only place I know around there.
But I feel like Mount Vernon is so high up to me, and Yonkers is like right outside of the Bronx. So it's like
that's because like Yonkers, I think it's like on the 1 train line or something like that, right? Or over there somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, like they both.
I really don't know.
So like they both by the Bronx. Like even Mount Vernon is surrounded by the Bronx, Yonkers, and like Pelham, which is going into North Shore. So it's surrounded by like a lot of.
It's Mount Vernon. I need to look at a map, bro.
It's deep as hell.
Bro, I need to look at like Google Map.
Deep.
I gotta look at
Metro North.
I took the Metro fucking North.
But you could take the 2 train to 241st, like White Plains Road. That's Mount Vernon.
Right above Wakefield.
Or you could take the 5 to Dyer Avenue.
Okay, it's right above Wakefield. I know where Wakefield is. Y'all looking at me like looking at me like you know what that is. I don't.
Because how have I not been to the Bronx?
Pete Rock, CL Smooth, like they all
from Mount Vernon.
A lot of history there. So it's a lot of history. And I think that's something I may have to do too.
I mean, honestly, I'm not even surprised to see how much history there is in hip hop in Mount Vernon, seeing that it is like the juxtaposition to the Bronx, the birthplace of hip hop. So, whereas like, why come why come down into the city and fight with niggas in Harlem and fight with niggas that's like coming up from Brooklyn to like make a name for yourself when you can go up, you know what I'm saying, and have a lot less competition creatively. It's so interesting to hear like all these names and all these like huge like executives, not only artists, that come out of there.
Well, right now it's really not like they are trying to like I said, the studio and stuff like that, but like mentality wise, it's not really like there yet.
Okay.
It's like it's not somewhere I would invest too much time and money in as far as like opening up a business or something like that. It's just like it's just mentality wise. I couldn't be in my run. I know I had to dip because like it was either I was going to do something crazy or it was like I just had to leave. It was just too.
Very good shape.
Get gritty.
Yeah.
You be getting gritty.
Like when I'm
So
when I
heard-
like back then, I'm not gonna say now. I kind of enjoy going back now because I'm in and out. But like back then, it was like I was just a different person being there. You know, like you in a certain atmosphere or you be around a certain person, they just bring out the worst in you. That's how Mount Vernon was for me. But I do love it. You feel me? So whoever sees this from Mount Vernon, it's not that kind of party. But I just had to. I just outgrew it. You know how you outgrow.
You outgrow your circumstances
Yeah,
and your places. Nah, I feel that. But with that, so like, all right, we got like a pretty like decent age range. You know, you 23. Sorry, you 23. You 33. Damn.
Man,
33. You 22. I'm 21. So you know, like we all got like, yeah. You know.
I'm
So
excited about that.
so
I was like,
she fest. Anyways, with that though, like I just like, especially like I want to ask you too, because me and him talk about this a lot. But like, how do y'all like who y'all fucking with right now in terms of like who's out right now from the city? Like how y'all like what do y'all think about like drill pretty much like encapsulating what the city sound is right now? Just overall thoughts on that. I know we spoke about it a lot on your episode. You know that was like a good almost year ago now.
Yeah,
so it's like you know
crazy.
that's crazy. So it's like just like that overall stance on like how do y'all feel about New York music that's coming out right now? You know y'all both New York born and bred, and like who y'all fucking with that's out right now, and just overall thoughts on like the New York sound right now.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, I be so busy I can't even like remember
Yeah, I
like
can
Keep up,
mad
like,
names,
yeah.
but like as far as like drill, I ain't gonna lie, I love drill. New York definitely got a buzz right now. I feel like we was missing that buzz for a minute. I definitely wish we had this buzz when I was in school, so I could have been talking way more shit. You feel me? But like I love where it's headed. I think you have like a mixture of artists that's like super creative. Some is probably like gonna stay in the drilling, and it's like others like A Boogie and
Pivot. Yeah.
yeah, that's gonna do more stuff. But I'm listening to like a lot of stuff right now. Off the top of my head, mostly people from Brooklyn. I can't like think of no names right now, but
Not to be.
Yeah.
Get busy.
Yeah.
I'm dead. I would say, y'all know I'm not like the traditional good artist to where I like say upon everybody new, but I know that people have been hinting at the fact like Bronx drill is.
It's going
Yeah,
up, bro. We was
yeah,
just talking about
that.
that on the last
Niggas
episode.
was telling me about that some months ago when I was at my
Yeah,
friend's
bro.
video
B
shoot.
Love, K Fly, like a lot of those names are starting to come up. heavy.
Yeah, like there's some good ones. And personally, I've been listening to a lot of Shawnee Bin Laden.
Bro, didn't he just drop an album or like a single?
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure he
Busy,
did.
yeah.
I've been listening to like
Busy.
Mary Wickmas, like
Yeah.
like end of 2020 shit, some 2021 shit. Because I be out in parties like in my neighborhood and like in the Floss and that area, I listen to like local artists from there and stuff. So name like let me see.
Yeah, get into the archives. Big
So yeah,
up.
so like yeah, like
Let me see
think
if
some
I
names
have
now, like
any.
Pop Out Boys,
Oh.
G Bando, Smooth L, with him.
Smooth L,
It's
okay,
a lot,
alright.
yes.
I've been listening to a little bit of Tay Floss.
Okay.
I've been listening to. I do have a song from Kush Been Flocking in here. I like Willie Woo. Porter B. He's good. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
he's from Canarsie. I like him a lot. So yeah.
Sounds mad familiar.
But you see what I'm saying?
He
Like
has some good shit.
that's the thing though. Like
Shout out Porter B. I'm
and
putting on for you.
and it's like similar to what I said in our last episode with Damani. Like my thing is like how I feel about the sound right now is like this thing where it's like, and we spoke about it on your episode, and I still feel like that, you know, especially with the influx of like oversaturation of drill artists. Like I love the drill sound. You do have a couple heads that's doing something different, but it's so because it's so saturated as the New York sound right now. Like I think it's very hard for artists to get recognition that aren't doing that sound, you know, like, or at least love from their city, from this city, that aren't doing that sound. Like, I think Capella, like, got great love because his music is very, like...
And he had lifey behind him too.
He did, and it's like,
his song had like lifey elements in it, so
you know, and it's like
that goes along with the visual aspect.
And also, like, I feel like a lot of people don't like know certain shit about him. Like, he grew up in like church choir, so he's been singing like his whole life type shit. So like, you know, instruments, like he produced and mixed all of like Gallus. And so my thing is with him, like, I feel like he's coming into a lane and a range right now where he's incorporating a lot of like New York slang, Caribbean slang that just also got adopted as regular New York slang, and is getting put into the music in such a way that it's also like feasible to hear in other states. Like, we were talking about it, and we were like how somebody from another state can listen to Gallus and be like, oh, that's like this, that, and the third here. Like, we call them here. Like, we call them that here. And I think like he's doing good and putting on for like this nice R&B like rap mix coming directly from the city. But I feel like, I love where everything's going. I'm just worried of how long the drill, like, reign is gonna last, and like how long that's gonna keep the pool saturated with just that sound, you know? Like, that's really my main thing. And it's like, we were also talking about this on the Monty's episode. I was like, because there's so many drill artists out right now, I feel like what's really separating them is their voice, like their physical voice, because everybody rapping about the same shit. And all the beats are practically the same, you know? Like, some beats are a little, I really like that specific drill beat. But it's, like, really getting to a point where it's, like, now their voice is separating them.
Yeah, after pop, it's all about the voice now.
Yo, literally, after pop and after, like, Chef and Sleepy, like, they took, like, that kind of, like, crown, especially for drill. Like, now it's, like, after them three, now it's really about, like, okay, who's standing out because of their voice or their visuals. Like, we were just saying it, like, their samples. Like, Beloved, like, if you know, you know, like, really blew up by Beloved because of that sample and because he's doing, like, remixes of old songs. Like,
you know, I love the samples.
You know what I'm saying? And I think, like, it's cool, though. I think the city just got so much, bro. Like, we got so many artists coming up and coming out, and it's, like, that's why it's like it's interesting to see who's doing something different, you know, and who's not just sticking in the drill shit. Because like for me, like I don't got no drill songs. Like Treesha's the closest thing to it, you know, like because Treesha was a drill beat. It was a Chef and Sleepy beat, so that's like the closest song I have to it. So it's like, and so it's funny like when you make music that's not like from your city or like shit like that. It's very interesting to then see like the reception from people from your city. Like I feel like the people from New York City who really like my shit are people who listen to a lot of other things. Like, y'all like my music, you listen to so many different kinds of music. You know, you like my music, y'all listen to it. Same with you, you know what I'm saying? Like,
freestyle too. Like,
really? Oh, that's so nice. Oh, that's so sweet. Such a nice woman. Oh my God. And you know, and so like for example, like Camille, shout out Camille. Like Camille loves my shit. She bumps Treesha all the time. Like every time I see plays from the Bronx, I'm like, that's Lenny and Camille. It's one of them two, bro. And it's like funny but like Camille like loves like Jivion. She loves like a lot of R&B shit and also like a lot of like Latin music as well. So it's like
it's hard to bring people out of their niche.
It's hard to bring people out of their niche, especially like with shit they listen to and like. But even with that, like, bro, one of the biggest compliments I got when I dropped Clover was from Kloopy. Shout out Kloopy, shout out to Floss. Like, when a Flossy nigga hit me up and was like, yo, this is not something I would regularly bump, but this shit is fire, I was like, I appreciate that. Because I know you listen to, you know, drill and Caribbean music. Like,
pretty much.
You know, those are the two things you listen to. So I was like, that was like a big honor, like, to me. Because I'm like, you know, this city is, I love my city, but it's also hard to get people to stand behind you in this city. Especially with the oversaturation of how many artists we got coming out right now.
What made you choose your name? Right?
Easy Money? Like why I chose it?
I thought your rap name was did you sing this song before?
No.
I thought your rap name was Treesha or something like that.
No,
because I had asked you for your name for the cipher.
No, you didn't. Bro, I saw it on the video and I was like, why did they put that? That's not even my song.
No, I had asked you for your name.
Like that.
I did.
I swear to God you did.
It's communication.
I wouldn't have put that.
Bro, I saw it and I was like, okay, they fucked up, that's fine. I let it rock. I wasn't gonna make niggas change the whole.
Could you imagine if that was your rap name?
Yeah,
Treesha?
Because I'm
that
like,
would've been crazy, bro.
I'm like, that's gangster.
That low-key would've been gangster.
Like,
that's Gangster's so
slogans,
crazy.
Your ad-lib or every
Yeah, bro,
track is-
see?
Yeah,
I posted it. That was the first time when I posted this.
Okay,
and that was that. And then I never got a question. So
On Mondays or Fridays.
I assumed you just looked through the
After
page,
6.
saw
Or
Treesha.
you know what?
I felt like
the dude that edited, he looked at your.
I think he looked at my
YouTube or
page,
something.
yeah, and probably saw
And that was
like
your name on
that was
it,
the
like-
first clip. Nah, that was I
It was
don't know
the name
how.
of the song?
Yeah, bro, his name was.
But what's
I don't know.
funnier is that when you see songs, you see the song and you see the artist name. So like the fact that he's seen both and was like, okay, it's one of these.
It gotta be Treesha. It gotta be
Cause I
Treesha.
had double checked because he was messing, so I double checked and I seen it, and like the way it was set up, it was like Treesha and then Dash, and then I thought it was like the name of it. The song was behind like.
I'm bugging, bro. I don't know. It's okay.
It's
Point
You
That's
know,
a
you know what I'm
moment.
You should
saying?
have said something.
We'll fix it in
It's
post.
okay. Yeah, we'll fix it in post. It's cool. I was like, it's okay. Second video, we'll do better. I was like, cause I wasn't gonna make niggas fix the whole video for that. I was like, it's okay.
That's why he had to stop you for a second and be like, why you chose your name?
Why you chose your
No, I
name
was
Treesha?
curious.
That would have been
I was
bad.
curious. I'm like,
Funny,
that's
bro.
I ain't gonna lie.
He was like,
I might change my name. Shit, niggas fucking with it. I might change the name to Treesha. That's mad funny. I'm gonna have to explain that everywhere I go. Niggas gonna look at me like you a Treesha and be like, nah, I be on Treesha timing though. I be on Treesha timing though. Give me a bottle of 42 and some runs, and we on Treesha
Yo,
timing.
next Yerrr City video, we're gonna have a Britney freestyle, most like Britney Part 2 freestyle.
Britney Part 2?
Yeah, that
Nah,
would
yeah, for
Let's see
sure.
that
Yeah,
now.
I'm
nah.
starting doing stuff in the studio too. I just linked up with this dude in Brooklyn. He got a studio, so like the next thing we're gonna do is like put out a Yerrr City album.
Nice. That's what's up.
So but like to start off, like just to lead up to that, we're gonna start having like putting out like probably like a song or two a week. So we're gonna have like artists come through, we can play some beats like whatever you're jacking and just hop on it. We just gonna go from there. Just
I'm trying to get my own bodega rap.
Heard it.
I'm with it. I'm filming, bro. We can
Don't
set
break it
something up
down.
after this.
Feel me?
Yeah, amazing.
Whoever, like wherever y'all from, anybody over there, y'all rap or sing, or
He's
y'all know somebody there?
him. He manages him.
Oh, you manage? Oh, we're out there.
Yeah.
He's also a comedian. It's free fucking time on close.
It's free fucking time. You're mad funny. Nah, but with that being said, let's wrap up with our final segment of the Lingo Talk with the Lingo.
Lingo Talk.
You will have to pick a new one.
Oh god.
So on our last segment of every episode, we ask people to tell us their favorite slang from where they grew up. It could be slang you used or slang you heard.
Yeah.
But just something that like you love, like one of your favorites. You give us 2 if you want, 2, 3. But like your favorite slangs are coming up. There's a lot of slang. So
Some of that Mount
I ain't
Vernon
gonna lie,
vernacular.
bro.
Yeah, I got one.
Probably Birdhead. Like,
Word?
I thought that was the lingo, I ain't gonna lie.
huh?
I thought that was the lingo at first. I'm not even gonna lie.
Like coming
Not
up.
gonna lie.
Not gonna lie, yeah, I thought
Just
that's
like
what he was gonna say.
You just feel good saying like when somebody say something stupid or do something stupid, like you know, bro, he's like, yeah, like you a fucking birdhead, like what you doing, like what else? I don't know. Go ahead, I'm gonna think of some more.
The last one I said was day room, right? I said
Yes.
day
Oh,
room.
that's funny.
Day room and Trish.
Yeah, because day it's just such a.
It's perfect, bro. Day room is literally one of my favorites just because you cannot explain it to nobody.
Yeah, you
You
can't.
gotta give somebody an
You gotta
example,
know.
like, oh, you know that nigga, that's a day room nigga. And that's the only way you
And
could.
we learned it based off context clues. Like
Yes. Nobody ever knew what it was.
I
We all
literally just had to pick up one. I was like, but you don't want to ask because you don't want to be a bait either.
Yeah.
Like,
But the one I will choose today is a classic from all the ages, from young to old, from large to small. OD.
OD.
Oh yeah, guys.
OD gotta be.
Because that's OD.
That's OD.
Like,
Yeah.
and you could say it multiple ways, and it's like you could be downplaying something, or you could be ODing.
You could be on.
Oops, I used the word to define the word. See? That's how you know it's a good fucking word. You could be like, somebody tell you something crazy, you like, or you could say it means everything, like dumb far, mad far, like you could be like, that's OD.
Yeah.
If somebody says something stupid, you'd be like, nah, that's OD.
Yeah.
If something is priced too high, your chopped cheese was $8 because they know you from out of state and they was wilding on
I
you,
use that every single
that's
day.
OD.
for real.
It was.
If somebody's fine as hell,
That's
they're
that. You know
OD.
that's actually spot on. He dead charged $7.95 for a chopped cheese yesterday.
And you didn't say anything.
Bro, I was geeked, bro. I wasn't even paying attention. I was geeked,
So
bro.
it was $8?
Bro, I was geeked. I was not paying attention.
But now, like when I was in school,
There you
like,
go,
the stuff I had
America.
people saying the most was probably definitely OD, joint.
Everyone said
biddies.
The biddies.
Like it was like massive. Like even my teammate, his girl's from Long Island, and like he would. Yeah, that's crazy. I just watched it.
You don't like Long Island.
Like even when he tried to talk like me, she'd like stop saying it, just stop. But like yeah, it's like OD, joint, all of that. It was like the whole school, and then like the people that they was around, they was talking like them, not knowing they came from me. So like, it was them and the whole school was talking like they was from New York for real.
You know what's a good one? That
Go ahead.
Mac. Because it used to mean something else, and
then
it
does now, yeah.
You
Like
said
it used to just
Mac, yeah.
like if you like when we were in middle school, Mac means like you talking to
Yeah, I'm
somebody.
trying to Mac.
I'm trying to Mac.
Now it's like relax.
No, now it's like you crashed a car.
Oh, it's Mac the Beat.
That is. I Mac the whip. No, I saw that. I saw that on some person's IG, and I was like,
what?
He was like, imagine you leave in like your girl's crib and you Mac, and I was like, what the fuck is? And you Mac on the first date, and I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? And then I saw all the comments of like, nah, that's crazy.
Yeah, context.
And I was like, oh, I was like, interesting. So like, I don't know. For me, I still use Mac in terms of like, I'm trying to Mac, like, and I also use it in terms of like relax. Like I'll be like, yo, Mac, relax. TP. Or some skins. It's funny because like I grew up with my brothers, and like my brothers are not old, but they make you feel like they are. My middle brother, one of my favorite slang words, like with him growing up, is he used to say skeeza all the time. Like, yo, she's skeeza. And I used to be like, yo, you're mad funny. Because it was the way he was saying, like, you're the fucking skeeza, man. And I'd be like, yo, you need to relax. Like, you got mad anger in your voice, bro. Mad aggression.
I ain't gonna lie, like one thing that had confused me, because like we used slime when I was younger for like a trees. That was like our version of trees.
Mm-hmm.
And then like fast forward some years, that's just some shit that Blood started saying, I guess, from like Jim Jones. And I was so confused when that first happened. I'm like, why y'all saying that?
You don't know what that means?
How did slang start? That's
bro, seeing people use
research.
slang incorrectly is so cringeworthy. Like, especially people not from New York. Because you just be watching
like
it
the
and
Urban
you're just
Dictionary,
like,
that should be...
bro.
I just be wanted to.
It's funny
and
though.
then when you say the sentence is even worse.
It's funny though, like you had a very different like college experience, I would say, than like us two or even you, because like even at like Syracuse in general, like we went and like a lot of the people I met were from New York City because it's still in New York State. So it's like we didn't have that. Like, I had it in some moments, like, around some white people or this, that, and the third. But, like, I didn't really have it like you, where you were, like, where a lot of people was, like, picking up on, like, New York shit from you, you know? So I think that's it. Yeah, it's like shit. So it's, like, that's very interesting to see. Like, it's funny how, like, the environment really, like, prompted the start of New York City and, like, that whole, like, idea. Because it's, like, you know, we got this, like, we started this in college, really talking about like, but it didn't get prompted from the fact of, oh, nobody around us is talking about it. It more so got prompted from the fact of like, we have these conversations with so many people not on air, and we're like, man, we should have a show. Like, we should have a show. We be talking to a lot of people, and we just be talking about mad like shit about our culture that people know about. And it's like, so it's funny, like the way like that got prompted. Like we like all three of us essentially got prompted to talk and like promote certain shit, but from completely different lenses. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you were talking earlier, and like the one thing, and I'll wrap it up here, is like, you were talking about how like what essentially you want to do in New York City and how you want it to like play out. And as you were talking, I was like, this is so funny, because the tagline I always use for the lingo, and I would literally use it for New York City after like that, was that you're in the business of putting people on. Yeah. You know, you're like, you want to be a plug. Like, I be saying that to all the time. Like, yo, we're in the business of putting people on. Like, we bring people on our show so people get put on to them. Like, we're in the business of putting people on. And I feel like that's something where we very much, like bridge. Like, with New York City and the lingo is, like, we're genuinely in that business of, like, putting people on and putting the culture, on a pedestal, on a standpoint.
I want to get to the point where, like, as far as like brands and corporations, like whenever they want to tap into the culture, they have to come to New York City.
You gotta go through us type shit, yeah.
We're gonna
work
the fuck out of them. You feel me?
Know your worth and add text to that shit, bro. For real.
You took communications in Syracuse?
I did.
Yeah, I know they got like the #1 program or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't go to that school.
Oh, you didn't go to Syracuse?
No, I went to Syracuse, but our school of communication. Gotcha. I took communication, bro. We have a communications major that's in the School of Visual and Performing Arts for some reason.
Gotcha.
I don't know, Chantal. Yeah, me and her were in the same major, and it's communication rhetorical studies. So that specific communication major is essentially like you learning how the world receives communication.
Yeah.
But like then they had the communication school where it was like broadcast journalism, all that shit. those niggas was shiesty. They didn't accept me. And then I found out it's harder to transfer in when you're in the school already. You need like, bro, I knew niggas with 3.9 GPAs not getting in, who are already in Q. So I was like, that's sick. But nah, but you know, it's crazy. But with that being said, y'all, we're gonna wrap it up here. It's your homie ATM.
And it's your boy O.
And it's your girl Des.
Destheproblem.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's your boy George, aka
Yerrr City.
Shitting me.
Yeah.
And with that, y'all, we are the Lingo. Be up. Stay easy.
Ow.
Peace.
Peace.